Hello and welcome to Pratik Chess Videos.
Hello listeners, today we are going to see a game between, this game was between the two players, Vaishali, who was black, and Kateryna Lagno, who was white. These two players are very good players and they certainly give a fight to whoever challenges them. So let's see how the game of these two fighters progressed. Now, the game started with e4. In this tournament, there has been a groundbreaking number of e4 openings, and yeah, I guess e4 deserves that. So now e4, e5, knight f3. Now knight c6, bishop b5, a6. Normal Rui Lopez. Now in this normal Rui Lopez, after bishop a4, knight f6. Now there is a option here after d3. Now d3 is not that much played. d3 is countered by b5, bishop b3, and then bishop to c5. Idea is short castle or d5. So short castle, d6. Idea is bishop g4 and knight d4, I think. Now a4 and then rook to b8. Now this is a standard idea, reinforcing the b5 pawn and also getting out of the pin of the rook. And then a into b5, a into b5, c3, short castle, bishop g5. Idea is to pin this. h6, bishop h4, g5, bishop g3. All common, all common. But bishop g3, that isn't common. I mean, that is common, but what was played in the game wasn't common. Alright, I know what you are expecting. I know what you are expecting, and it's exactly what you are expecting. Knight into g5. This sacrifice, it may look premature, however, it is not. The counterplay and the material uh, are at equal, so this position is an equal yet unbalanced position. So after bishop into g5, king g7. Idea is rook to h8 and then just rook to h8, rook to h5. I guess rook to h8, rook to h5 is a knight idea. And also just getting the knight good. So queen to f3, adding more juice in the attack, and now I think d4 might be under construction. But king to g6, attacking the g5 bishop. It may seem very daring to put the king on g6, but it's nothing. f5 is covered by the bishop, h5 is covered by the knight and the king, and there and queen g3 is just a big bad move, so that it isn't covered. Now after king to g6, bishop to h4. Idea is, I think, to just move the bishop away. g4 might be a plan in the future. Queen g3 seems a likely move. Now rook to g8, preparing against g4. So that this kind of forms a pseudo pin, so that whenever white plays g4, then black will be able to counter attack with the g file. So this is the idea. And now it was a good idea, good defense by Vaishali. H3 idea is g4, most probably. Now, after this bishop h4, rook to g8, h3 is a good move. So is so is king h2 and things. King h1, sorry. But let's focus to the game. Bishop e6. Now bishop into e6 seems like a nice move, but bishop to d5 is a nicer one, attacking c6. So white obliges black to take so that black's knight gets badly placed. Now after well, rook to h8, sorry, bishop to d5 comes rook to h8 attacking h4, and then queen to g3 check, king to h7, bishop to g5. Idea is queen to h4 check, I assume, or f4 can also come. Queen to g8, and then knight to h5, or knight to h5, queen g6 is another idea. And now d4, a mistake. White didn't do a good thing by playing knight into g5. It just led to more pressure on white than black. Actually led to pressure on black. Black was low on time. I mean, black was in this position after 20th move like 17 minutes, and white was 30. Yeah, white was like 1 hour or something. And then I remember that when d4 was played, it just sank to 31 minutes. Like, like seriously, she taught for 34 minutes. That's a lot, you know. That's a thing only Grishuk would pull up. But but it was pulled up, and after d4 came this amazing knight into d4. Idea is that after c into d4, bishop into d4. Now, firstly, there's knight into d5. Secondly, there's bishop into b2. And thirdly, you just demolished your best resource. But still, after bishop into e6, f into e6, it's a playable position which can be drawn, but very, very, very. Now, I wouldn't say precise, but it still requires some precision. I mean, you can't just play natural moves and expect the position to draw. You have to place some certain moves at some certain times and etc. So knight d2, queen g6, and then rook f1 attacking c7. So now rook to b7 defending it. Now rook to c6. Now idea is rook ac1 doubling up on the c file. But now rook to f8. Now this is a mistake. Bishop into b2 was the best move here, taking a pawn. Actually, it is quite a justified move, just the computer thought that black didn't take a pawn. But it's also justified that it is a mistake, given that now queen to h4 check comes, and now it's uh, it's hard for black to continue. I mean, white has a advantage, that's for sure, and that's the problem. It was an equal position until black mistaked and white and black did this mistake, and then white had an amazing advantage. And now king to g8, black expands the advantage, and now it's all significantly better. It's almost decisive. But as they say, taking an advantage is the winning a one position is the hardest thing in chess. it proves bishop to h6, which is a mistake, and now we give up the advantage, leading to just a position with a very slight edge for white. And now after bishop to h6, here black utilizes the opportunity and plays bishop into f4 check, a measure by which equal position is obtained, and queen to f2. Now this is a dubious move, and now this reaches a position with a slight edge for black, because after rook f1, after queen into f2, queen into h6, rook f1, now comes rook to f7. Now idea of this is to just firstly defend this, and another idea can be to, well, reposition the rook on f8 and then get some on this line. So but still, uh, and when I checked this position with an engine, and engine said that knight h5 would have been better, and this was an not this one, this was an inaccuracy, throwing away the slight advantage he had. But as they say, when you have A, you must have B, and now white gives the B by queen to g3, which is a blunder, B for blunder. Pretty funny coincidence. But the coincidence isn't funny, the mistake is because now after queen to g3, rook to g7. Just a simple move attacking the queen, and now the queen slides to f3, which is another dubious move, now is a which now is a resignable position. No, no, not resignable, but it's a trivial position for someone at this level. But it's if you turn on the computer like -4. But now if you have A and you have B, you must have C. C is knight h5. Mistake. Queen to d2 was best. Now queen into f6 leads to queen into g2 mate, so I guess piece up. But knight to h5, idea is knight to f4 on rook to g3, I think. But after knight to h5, we reach a decisive advantage. We could have a totally winning position, -4, but we reach a decisive advantage that is roughly -2 on the engine. So now rook to f2. And after rook to f2, now it's uh, it's still a winning position, but it's now more hard to convert it. But well, a top player is a top player, and and a top player always finds a way to convert. Now king to h2, rook to b8. Idea is rook to f8, as I want to circumvent the rook. Now knight to f1 and then king to h8. Idea is rook b to g8, putting pressure on g2. But after king to h8, knight to e3, which is an inaccuracy. And now knight to g4 is, I think, the idea, but this leads to rook b g8, which further leads to loss, because now this g2 pawn is more pressured and this g3 point is especially weak, and you can't play knight g4 because of rook into g4. So overall we reach a plus -3 roughly. And now, yes, here comes the blowing away mistake, rook fc2, a mistake which makes the advantage a staggering. Well, I can't say that I got the advantage perfectly right, but in my opinion, it has oh, it's obviously minus 4.5. Minus 4.5 means roughly a piece down. A piece down and positional uh, and attack or positional advantage. So yeah, uh, it's a now it's not a piece, but it's such a big attack that it's minus 4. So now queen to h4, idea is rook to g3. So we have a attack that if we exchange for material, win a piece and a pawn. Think how strong that attack is. Now g4, rook h7, attacking h3, rook to c3. Alright, that is not to be associated with rook to c3. Rook to c, it's not rook to c3, it's rook to c3. Yeah, 2, not 2. Alright, pretty complicated. It's just r to c3. Yeah, the number 2 which comes after 1. I mean, I'm clarifying this many times because it's a very big mistake, and it's sometimes people mistaken this for rook to c3, as people of sometimes most people, they often don't say like the notation like e4, e5, knight, nf3 and c6. They say like e4, e5, knight to f3, knight to c6, bishop to b5. And now with this approach they sometimes confuse uh, words like rook to c2, rook to c3 with rook to c3. So that's the thing that also happened with me, so that's why I'm clarifying. So now after rook to c3, queen into h3 check, queen into h3, rook into h3 check, king to g1, and now b4, rook b3, d5, e into d5, e into d5, and now yeah, you know the drill. King f2, rook f8, idea is knight d3, rook into c7, d4, and boom, you win. Because as simple as that. Now the knight moves, the rook goes, the knight doesn't move, the knight goes, and if the knight goes, then the passed pawn is coming, and if the passed pawn goes, then the rook goes. Yup, everything is going, and also knight e6 check is coming, in which a whole rook goes. So I don't believe white would like this position, so that's why white resigned. Amazing game by Vaishali. Lesson of this game is that firstly, don't cast any sacrifices, that instead of pressuring your opponent pressures you, as happened in the game. Yeah, like you get a must win game and you think that all right, my opponent is lower rated, as Vishali was also lower rated by a margin of 45, 46, 45. And my opponent is lower rated, so I'll play a sacrifice. I'll see how he handles it. But it's not the best way. To win against lower rated players, all you have to do is to play your A game. Yeah, play your best game and they'll crack. There's no way if you play your best game, your lower rated opponent is going to win. Because you are the better player and you should win if you play your best game. But many people getting pressured by this must win scenario always go into such sacrifices and deep tactical things. But just play your game and you'll win, I suppose. So don't do anything crazy and you'll win. So this was the game. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell icon. Thank you.